Tell the time with postman Pat. How to tell the time. The little hand tells you which hour it is, and the big hand tells you how many minutes have gone by since the last hour. This is 4:15. This is 4:30. This is 4:45. This is exactly 5 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, the alarm clock rings. Is it time to get up already? Says Pat. Jess thinks it is. He's angry. At 8 o'clock, Pat has his breakfast. You better hurry, says Sarah, or you'll be late. You're right, says Pat. Come on, Jess. At 9 o'clock, Pat arrives at the post office. Mrs. Goggins has the post ready waiting for him. Pat loads it into the van. What a lot there is, he says. At 10 o'clock, Pat calls at the church. He has a letter for Reverend Timms. Can't stop, Reverend, says Pat. It's going to be a busy day. Time waits for no man, agree Reverend Timms. At 11 o'clock, Miss Hubbard whistles past on her bicycle. Must rush, she says. Choir practice at 11:30. She picks up her letter as she passes. She makes me feel tired, Jess, says Pat. At 12 o'clock, Pat calls on Granny Dryden. Will you have a cup of tea, Pat? Asks Granny Dryden. Thank you, I will, says Pat. I'm gasping. At 1 o'clock, Pat looks at his watch. Do you think it's lunchtime yet? He asks Jess. Jess thinks it is. At 2 o'clock, Pat delivers George Lancaster's fishing magazine. Busy today, Pat? Asks George. I am, says Pat. I never be seen so many letters. At 3 o'clock, Pat calls at Grindle Farm. He gets in a tangle with the chickens. Mind how you go, calls Mrs. Potish. Then is on to Garner Hall to give Major Forbes his copy of Horse and Horn. Splendid, says the Major. At 4 o'clock, Pat picks Julian up from school. We've been planning to tell the time, says Julian. Do you know how to, Dad? I do, says Pat. But Jess doesn't. At 5 o'clock, Pat stops by the post office. Mrs. Goggins is closing up for the day. Did you get all the letters delivered? She asks. All except this one, says Pat. And that's for me. At 6 o'clock, Pat is home again. He puts his feet up for a rest. That was a busy day, wasn't it, Jess? He says. But Jess is already asleep.